So another option is you can duplicate this track. Then maybe there's an exception, but I would just get the most out of the amp. Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to share with you how you can get clean sounding recordings with your guitars. Now, I've gotten several messages and comments asking how I get my guitars to sound so clean. Now, to be honest, I think that my recordings can come out a lot cleaner. I just really haven't figured that part out yet. But I do appreciate the compliments. This is just my approach, and I'm gonna share with you what I've learned from trial and error. Make sure your cables are working properly, that your amp is functioning properly, your interface is working properly, and that you somewhat have fairly new broken-in strings. And lastly, one of the most important factors in getting a good, clean sounding recording with your guitars is rehearsing before you track. Based on my experience and knowledge that I've acquired throughout the years, I know that these simple basic factors determine how your recordings are going to come out. Now, I'm not saying you have to be the best instrumentalist in the world, but what you're about to track, you should at least have that down. Alright, now really quickly, let's go over the gear that I'm going to be using today. For the amp, I'm going to be using a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. The mic I'm going to be using is the Sennheiser E609. For the guitar, I'm going to be using my Dan Electro 59M NOS Plus. And for the interface, I'm going to be using the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, which is a 2-channel interface. If you're interested in getting any of this gear for yourself, you can actually order it at Sweetwater by hitting the affiliate link in my description box down below. Thank you, Sweetwater. Alright, now I also tracked a lead just so you can hear the frequency differences from playing with both pickups and also the bridge pickup. So our rhythm guitar is played with both pickups, and then our lead guitar is played with the bridge pickup. Let's focus on one. So they're both at 0, obviously, as you can see right here. I'm going to shut off the lead, and just so we don't confuse anyone, I'm going to put rhythm guitar, and then we will do lead guitar. There we go. Here is our clean rhythm guitar. So there were no effects added to pre-production. As you can tell, it's pretty clean, pretty dry. There's the reverb on the amp is all the way to 0. Now there is an advantage in applying your effects in post-production because you do have more control over that. In this case, I'm doing clean guitars, so we can add our effects after. So as you can see, this is a fairly healthy wave. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this. I'm going to go to an EQ, and I'm just going to do a frequency sweep. I'm going to add some saturation, soft sine. Now, I'm not necessarily using the saturator to boost the volume. I'm just using it for a little bit of texture and warmth. Now, I haven't adjusted the track volume yet, but I will adjust that volume eventually. We can add some reverb. Sounds good right there, that tail. Now we can add our compression before and or after our chain if we like. All right, I'm going to go ahead and group all of these together so that we can hear the difference with and without the effects. So this is without. And now with. Now I did boost right here these lower frequencies just because we don't have a bass and it's just guitars. So in this case, I do want those low ends boosted. But let's say we did have a bass and we had the kick going. That's usually where those frequencies live. So let's just pretend that there is bass and drums. We can always just duck a little bit right here and get rid of those low frequencies. Get rid of the subs if we want. For me, I don't usually like to do that all the time. At least now recently I discovered that the guitar loses its body when I do that. So I like to leave a little bit of low end on my guitars. All right, now let's go ahead and work on the lead guitar. Now what we can do is copy paste these and then just make our adjustments accordingly. And what I'm gonna do is add a chorus. Pitch modulation, chorus. We can do classic chorus. And I'm gonna put it right before our reverb. And we can adjust our settings to our liking, of course. It doesn't have to be a certain setting. And as far as EQing, we can cut a little bit more low end. At least I would. We can boost right here. Around right here. And then also panning helps to open up your sound. I'm going to use a method that I usually use sometimes. Now I would normally overdub my rhythm guitar, but in this case I didn't. So another option is you can duplicate this track. And then I will go to fixed grid, turn it off, zoom in right here, and I will slightly just shift it. Ever so slightly. Now sure, is there going to be a phasing issue? Maybe, but there's also a plugin that comes with Ableton where you can make that adjustment as well. Now I'm going to pan hard left, hard right on our rhythm guitars, and let's hear those. See if we can try something out. Utilities, phase invert. I could throw it to this one. And then by throwing that in there, it automatically flips it. Sounds a lot better. Now I can start adjusting the volumes. I will take these down. At about -3, sounds good. Now of course when you're mixing other instruments you're gonna have to adjust those accordingly, but since it's just 3 guitars here, one duplicated rhythm and one lead, we don't really have to worry too much about mixing too much. All right, so now that we have hard left, hard right on our guitars, I can actually, if I wanted to, I can EQ one of the duplicates differently. So let's say I wanted to like boost in the middle just so it sounds a little bit different, or I don't want it to sound too full. Maybe I want to kind of just make little adjustments here. Let's see. I'm just kind of messing around. I am not a professional here. And now that I'm hearing it, I do want to adjust the volume on the duplicate here just a little bit. I'm going to lower it just a couple decibels. Okay, that sounds about even. Now let's go ahead and enable our lead guitar. And can even add a delay if we want to. Like, let's just shut off the reverb. We can do a ping. And we'll do longest. We'll do it right here. Let's adjust our feedback. Now what I like to do also is I like to group my guitars. I'll add a compressor to this group right here. And then I'm gonna add a little plug-in. I'm just gonna get a little crazy here. No waves. For some synthetic tape saturation, the J37 stereo tape simulator. I will go to mastering, fat, tighten, open. All right, we're just gonna save that. Just make sure that you're not clipping, you know, watch your levels. You don't wanna crank your gain on your interface too much because then it's not gonna sound that good. Unless you have like a really good interface with a good preamp in it, then maybe there's an exception, but if you know, I would just get the most out of the amp and then adjust on your interface accordingly. That's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. I will see you in the next one.